Senator Marsha Blackburn of the great state of Tennessee joins us. Senator Blackburn, always good to chat with you.
Well, it is so good to chat with you. And, of course, we've been a little bit busy here in D.C.
Yes, and some good things happening. I think so often in the world of commentary and talk radio, we have to not only point out the serial failings of the Democrats, but try to prod the Republicans to move a little faster or a little further on something. But in this case, I think a little bit of a golf clap may be necessary, a little bit of a high five. The Senate has pushed forward this rescission package. Tell us a bit about what's contained and how does it feel to be able to be a part of the Senate, Senator, as they do something that Republicans have wanted to do for pretty much my entire adult life.
Well, you're right about that. And I was looking at something this week. Ronald Reagan started the push to try to defund NPR and the Corporation for Public Broadcast. And, of course, we know that many times they have a very biased view. They are anti-conservative, and you can see it when you go through and look at how they covered the Democrat convention and the Republican convention. The Democrat convention was nearly all positive coverage and the Republican nearly all negative. Taxpayers do not want their funds to be used for the Corporation for Public Broadcast. Addressing that, addressing some of this wasteful spending that has taken place through USAID and the State Department. When you look at vegan food for Zambia or electric buses in Rwanda or voter ID programs in Haiti, then, and the list goes on and on. We could talk for hours of things that we were able to uncover that these agencies were taking their appropriated funds for and spending them on. And taxpayers don't want their hard-earned dollars going for that. So $9 billion out of this year's budget, drawing a red line through those discretionary spending items, which is what rescissions are for. And then if you say out of a 10-year budget window, all of that is gone, that's about $90 billion in savings.
We're talking to Senator Marsha Blackburn about all of the successes that are taking place. Trump basically ran on economy, border, crime. It seems like he is delivering on all three of those fronts, and I know sometimes they overlap. So, for instance, the border and crime, we certainly know they're illegal, violent perpetrators of crimes that should be removed from this country. Can you remember, you've been in politics for a little while now, can you remember a more consequential in terms of delivering results on what someone ran on first 6 months for a president than what we have seen so far from Trump? Because I can't.
I cannot. The way he has really buckled down. And, you know, Clay, we've talked about this a lot in the last week. As we remembered a year ago on Sunday, that assassination attempt. He has been very intentional, very purposeful. He made promises. He has kept those promises. He's dealing with inflation. He is dealing with tariffs. He's dealing with our standing in the world. He has secured that southern border. It is the lowest illegal entry into this country we have ever seen. And we know that he is making certain that things get done. We're rebuilding the military. We are addressing waste, fraud, and abuse in government programs. That is what people voted for. He is delivering, and it is a joy to work with him. And when you see every single day how he is sending power and authority and money back to the states, getting it out of D.C., draining the swamp, which he said he would do, and sending power back to the people, whether it's education or energy or regulations or health care or benefits, and saying, here, let's get it out of D.C. Let's get this money back where it belongs.
I think I know I did. When you put out, I think it was a 20-point plan for President Trump as basically the Republican platform for 2024.
Correct.
It was super succinct. It was very understandable. If you go back and look at that, I think it's very worthwhile maybe to bring that back around to circulate so people can see it. It is one of the most remarkably, hey, I'm going to do this, and then he's delivered on it. And I get sometimes why he's a little bit frustrated because I don't know that we've ever seen anything like that. Lots of politicians say they're going to do things and then they don't deliver. That's a very transactional document, and he's delivered on virtually every point on that document that you guys put out.
You're right about that, and it was a joy to chair that platform committee for him, and he was very much engaged with that and is delivering. And as we did the big, beautiful bill, no tax on tips or overtime, and a provision I have worked on for years, no tax on Social Security, and of course we do that by a $6,000 bonus deduction per senior per year. So a couple married filing jointly that are 65 and over, that's $12,000 in bonus income tax deductions for that couple. And that allows them to utilize those funds basically tax-free. But President Trump made these promises. He said, this is what we're going to do. And he is delivering on every point. And the American people are responding. You see his polling numbers are better than they have ever been. The Democrats, our friends on the left, have gone so far off the cliff on the left that many of my friends who are independents and Democrats are going, oh, my goodness, I can't go there with them because of how radical they have become and some of the socialist ideas that they have truly embraced and are promoting.
Senator Blackburn, I know you're on the Judiciary Committee, and a very interesting and certainly very qualified nominee just got put through the Senate panel, right? Emil Bove, who had defended President Trump in the past, a former federal prosecutor. I was wondering if you could speak to the level of opposition to somebody who seems to be so eminently qualified for the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit from Democrats. Why are they so opposed to this one? And then also just give us a sense as to how the judge confirmation machinery in the Senate is working under Trump's term so far. Are you getting through the nominees you want to, you need to? How's that all going?
Well, we are working on some more today, and earlier this week we did the first circuit court appointee, and that is Whitney Hermendorfer out of Tennessee. She'll be on the Sixth Circuit. And you're referencing Emil Bove, and Emil had represented President Trump at one point and had worked with Todd Blanche, and we got him out of committee today. The Democrats were so upset about this. They did not want to approve him because they felt like he had done this, that, or the other wrong. But what they're going to do is nitpick. They're going to try to find something, and something's wrong with everybody and everything that's related to President Donald Trump because they have Trump derangement syndrome. It is alive. It is out there. They are living it. And what we did as the Democrats got up and walked out after the vote had started, we continued the vote, and he was approved, and he will move to the floor for his confirmation vote, and I hope we vote him very swiftly. Now, the Democrats are trying to hold up every U.S. attorney, every U.S. marshal, every judicial appointment that we have because they want to impair the ability of President Trump's administration to carry out their agenda. So we are encouraging Senator Grassley to force the issue of moving forward with these nominees. Don't hold them over. Let's just, as we do the hearings, let's move them to the floor so we can get them up for the vote because the Democrats are calling cloture on every single nominee, which for your circuit judges is 30 hours on the clock, and for the others and for your U.S. attorneys, it's 2 hours. So if they're not going to work with us, we should be working all night, and every weekend until we get people confirmed.
We're talking to Marsha Blackburn. I want to finish, Senator from Tennessee. I want to finish with this, and I'm going to be hammering it home because I think there's a lot of New Yorkers listening right now, and I know there's a lot of Californians. Senator Blackburn is the primary reason why there is no state income tax in the state of Tennessee. And for people out there who are looking at commie momdami that's coming in New York City, we've got a pretty good economic environment in the state of Tennessee, wouldn't you suggest?
I think we have a great economic environment. You know, Clay, we talk a lot about how leading that fight against the state income tax in Tennessee and killing that thing, that required our state to go through a reset and look at the programs where we were spending money and to actually reduce what we were spending because we didn't have the funds, and we have a balanced budget amendment for our state. And I think that the reason you see Tennessee regularly as the number 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 state for business and relocations and business growth and GDP growth, it is because we are a well-managed state, and we have made certain that we will never have a state income tax. We actually now have it as a part of our state constitution.
Amen. We'll talk to you again soon, Senator Blackburn. Appreciate the work, and we'll talk. And we look forward to chatting again soon, maybe about a big announcement. When you'd be amazed by what people can find when it's time to move out of the family home. Going through the process right now here in the Travis house. I don't know when our house is going to be finished, but I do know we have so many different memories stacked up right now, ready to move. And a lot of those are old school, right? Photographs, not digital, because we got married right before everything went digital. So we still have some old school. First son was born before everything went fully digital. But how many of you out there have great, incredible family memories that might be generations old? Heck, they might be 100 years old or more that have never been digitized. Maybe they're in grandma's house. Maybe they're in grandpa's house. Maybe there is a keeper of the family history and lore. What would happen if they passed, or that just got lost, or God forbid you had some sort of fire or a flood or a natural disaster that might destroy some of those family memories? Why not preserve them forever right now digitally with our friends at Legacy Box? Once a digital file is created, it can last forever, certainly longer than any videotape would. You'll be able to watch the digital files anywhere, be it on your phone, laptop, or smart TV. Legacy Box has done this for 1.5 million families, including my own. Visit legacybox.com/clay today for 50% off your order. That's legacybox.com/clay.